the public's reaction and the public's perception of what a police department should be and how a police department should interact with the public, it changes every day.
Chaos in Cincinnati. Protesters unhappy with the Ferguson decision take their message to the streets.
It changes with video recordings, it changes with interactions where there's no recording whatsoever.
This is the video at the center of it all. It shows police subduing Eric Garner, and one officer appears to put him into a chokehold. Garner died shortly after that incident.
Whether it's by word of mouth, whether it's by social media, whether it's by Facebook.
It was a peaceful march through downtown and over the Rhine.
I am happy to see our people from the city of Cincinnati come together in a peaceful march.
Everything changes the public has towards law enforcement.
I seen some undercover police officers and some uniformed police officers. They said, there you go, there you go, there you go. And they had their guns and their tasers pointed out at me, ran up to my car. They snatched me out of the car.
We worked a lot with liaison police officers for communities. So we did a particularly block party on McPherson Avenue in Price Hill, and we invited some of the police officers to come and interact and just be a part of that event. Folks that came that day, the officers that came that day, just didn't stand on the side. They really were just engaging and just having a good time. I mean, they were in uniform in the car. It was pretty awesome to see them just engage as people, but also as, you know, they were there to protect and to keep people safe. But pretty amazing, just the spirit of who they were and what they were doing there.
They saying we got a call of a gun run, somebody with a white t-shirt and blue jeans. And I'm like, oh, is this the procedure?
I can certainly say I've had very few personal confrontational interactions with police. It's never been an uncomfortable experience. There was one time when I got a ticket that I think I was in a speeding trap zone, and that felt a little less pleasant than some interactions, but it wasn't uncomfortable.
No, Polly, one of the police officers had the nerve to sit and tell me, you act like you haven't been in trouble before. And I'm like,
I don't remember any good interaction with police. Like, usually when I see them, I just kind of try to steer clear because I don't want any action, anything.
So I'm looking at all of these police officers and they looking like I'm tripping for being, they like, why you so mad? Why you so angry? Like, you should just be, like, you should be used to this. Like, this is regular.
I know that I've been treated very well by some police officers, and I've also been treated very unprofessionally. What I said was manipulated to make me look more guilty of the crime.
And they just walked off. Nobody said, man, sorry, my bad, sir. Sorry, sir, it was a mistake, a mistaken identity, none of this.
I don't see color in this job. We interact with so many people on a daily basis that it's impossible for me personally to treat anybody differently. I come across hundreds of people a day that I interact with in a 10-hour shift. For me, it's unfathomable to treat somebody different because of their race, because of their color, because of their gender, for that matter. It's just not what being a police officer is about.
I can't say all police officers treat, all people, because they don't. Not all of them don't. All of them weren't raised that way. But it is ones that do.
I've been aware for some time that people get treated differently depending on ethnicity or socioeconomic situation or, race, religion. My son and some others were probably in less danger of being shot than kids from African American communities.
I'm not going to say all officers are perfect, but I will say that 90% of the ones we work with have been fantastic over the last 18 years. But, for the most part, they're there they serve and protect. I mean, honestly, they go whether they're black or white. They don't know who's calling them. Anytime that we're on the street with them, really, it really doesn't matter the color. It's just what's going wrong. What's wrong? How can they get in the middle of it? How can we fix it? Do their job. So.
Well, I think race definitely influences a police officer's interaction, and we can see it. It's kind of hard to say no, they don't treat us differently when you know, we keep seeing it over and over and over where black people are getting killed. Police they're just trying to do their job, and they're trying to do their job like everybody else. So, you know, sometimes race is an easy identifier because, you know, when they see black people, I wonder if they see the same black person that was in the movie doing this, or the same black person that was on the news that was doing that.
It's just the attitude that they receive when they arrive, and I think a lot of the clash comes when the police officer shows up and starts requesting help, and everybody literally says nothing, you know, and you know they all know, and it's just that issue of this attitude toward them that we're not going to help you, even though you're here to help us. We're not going to help you at all. You know, where I grew up, again, if you knew something and the police ask you, you just tell it.
In the inner city, they act like, wow, I don't want to repeat. They just don't want to cooperate. But then when a police officer doing something or tells on something that's going on, he's a whistleblower. He's blackballed. I'm sure you know this. He won't be fully accepted by other police officers if he tell on another police officer. It's a game. You think they not gonna ride for each other? If a police officer got a partner that's stealing or maybe I did something and he a good guy, he don't do nothing, but he don't tell on him because they a band of brothers. They're not gonna go against each other. That's the same in the gang.
Police themselves should speak out more against, you know, bad police. African American communities should grow up and become the police officers in their own neighborhood. Not even just African American police, but police that are really growing up with the people who they're policing.
To me, the social media is part of the problem. Just because a video camera there and videotapes the scenario, it doesn't necessarily always mean that's exactly what occurred. Personally, for myself, when I watch these videos, I don't draw a conclusion because it wouldn't be fair to draw a conclusion based off of just that video itself. I would need more information, just like any case that I work.
African Americans have been saying, like, police treat us differently, like, police always put me out the car, police always doing this. And, you know, it gets shrugged off, you know, if you're not a part of that culture. If you've never seen it happen to you, it's kind of hard to believe that the police do this kind of stuff. Now that social media is really super relevant, it's like the proof is there. What more do you need? It almost exposes how much racism is really there. Like, when the proof is really there, when you can see the video and people still like refuse to believe it, that's when things get interesting.
I mean, we'll see officers pull up and they're almost taunted by the kids, and everybody's got their phone out immediately. It's just an automatic reaction. If a police officer pulls up because there's a fight or something breaks out, kids will gather and immediately almost start pushing and taunting for something to happen with their phones out. They're looking for something to go wrong so that they can, you know, catch the policeman in doing something he or she's not supposed to be doing, rather than helping them or respecting them.
I think day in, day out, when you see these things on the news, that internally you react. I think that it's now in the hearts and minds of all African Americans and police and everyday people. And the more that it's available, that knowledge is available with new technologies, your phone, you're always finding a new situation that you can choose one side or the other, and then eventually they conflict.
I seen a story, police officer just kills 2 black teens, but it was a fake story. Like, man, but people see this stuff and don't even use their mind and be like, what? Don't believe everything you see.
So are you afraid of police officers?
Yes, I am. You never know what can happen. You just don't ever know what can happen, you know, and it's just a people thing, you know what I mean? If you give people that much, that's a lot of power to have. You got the power to pull somebody over. You got the power to do anything you want, really, for real, like in these streets. Like, the police got the power to do really anything they want.
Where I'm not actively knowing or trying to break the law, so I'm not afraid. I would be afraid if I got into a one-on-one situation. I would be concerned if there was no one else around, because I don't know if it's a he said type of story, where that would lie.
I have a healthy fear of police. Like, you know, I'm not gonna be all timid in every interaction with the police, but I'm not talking to no police crazy. When they come, I'm putting my hands on 10 and 2 when they ride up behind me. Everybody that kind of scared of the police.
Not unless I've done something wrong. So no, let's put it that way. And they have bad days too, so if they get cranky with me, I get it. You know, I've done that myself. So
When somebody is not held accountable for something like that, I think it makes us all feel vulnerable. I mean, it erodes my confidence and everybody else's as well, I have to believe. You know, and I've had close relationships with people of other races and ethnicity, and you know, you can say, I can imagine how afraid you might be, but you can't really know it.
I think citizens can better interact with police by understanding the complexity of their jobs, what they have to go through on a day-to-day, and those snap decisions that they have to make, either right or wrong, but you have to tip your hats and respect what they have to go through.
it's a human side that we don't get to see, because normally when these guys are coming into our neighborhood, there's a problem. If I know about you and your family and your kids and why you do this job, rather than you getting out of a car with a badge and a gun, you and I are going to have a different relationship.
Police need to really know who they're policing. Police need to, you know, spend some time in the neighborhood without a gun. You know, police need to, you know, get involved in the community. You know, watch these kids grow up. You know, you'll have to develop some kind of compassion for them as a human. If you see somebody grow up from childhood to adulthood, something will click in when it comes time to police them.
We try to reverse the role on it and more so make the public's perception of us be more of a positive aspect by just having a conversation with somebody, whether it's recorded or not, by word of mouth. This is the community that you serve, so you should have a respectable conversation with them, have questions for them, have answers for them, and interact with them. So the perception that the public has upon a police department, whether it's recorded or not, or whether it's involved with a death or in the line of duty death with an officer or a suspect or somebody that's being stopped by the police, or whether you're just stopping in to have a conversation at their local business, it changes the perception upon police officers all over the country by taking the time to do it.